Good morning, Jeffrey. What's up, my dude? What is going on, my friend? Let's see. Edit. More actions. Delete forever. Delete. Good morning, Jeffrey. How are you doing, my friend? Oh, man. Good morning. We are going to talk about some news today. We're going to talk about some news and have a little hang and chat. I'm waiting on your buddy Victor. Came on yesterday and he was closing out. Oh, good old Victor. Good old Victor. Tell him to bring it on, Jeffrey. Tell him to bring it on. You know what? I think I could probably take care of that right now if he came on. Let me see if I can still pull up the live chat from yesterday. No, I guess I don't have live chat anymore. Live chat replay. Yes, I do.
Changing that.
Live chat replay. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm not looking at the screen. I'm looking at looking kind of at the live chat replay. Killer Carla, good morning. What the heck are you guys up to? All right. Yeah, I'm looking right now. See what's going on. I'm just going to block them out right from the channel. What the heck are you guys up to today? It is Sunday morning. And I am not doing anything right now but chatting with you guys. Not doing anything but chatting with you guys. Let's see. So we're going to talk about some news stuff this morning, you guys. We're going to talk about some news stuff. I'm waiting on, I'm looking at the live chat from yesterday. Let me move up a little bit and get out of the sun. Get out of the sun. Brandon, what's up? Were annoying yesterday. What protests were in Austin? I didn't know there was any protest yesterday, to be honest. I will have to take a look. Maybe I should just go back to the very beginning. Brandon, Jeffrey said, buddy, yes. Let me just go back to the very beginning yesterday. Oh, well, if he shows up in here this morning, I'll handle it. I'll handle it. Jeffrey, while I'm here, I'm going to make you a super mod while I'm here. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not really talking. I'm doing more of messing around with the settings on YouTube. I didn't see the one from Victor. Anyway, it's all right. If he shows up again, that's all right. I'll kill it. But as of right now, I think. Did you guys see? I know a lot of you folks that are in here right now are not from Austin, but there was a damn bank robbery in Cedar Park. What the heck is that all about? A bank robbery in Cedar Park. Not only was it a bank robbery, but the guy dropped a box. They thought it was a bomb. They shut down the whole area. They locked down schools in the area for hours on end. They thought the guy, it was just a box. That's all it was. It was a box that he had stuff in. But he drops a box and everybody thinks it's a bomb. And I guess there's nothing wrong with being cautious, out of an abundance of caution. You know what I'm saying? But holy moly, talk about crazy. Crazy stuff, man. A freaking bank robbery in Cedar Park. So anyway, I think this morning we should talk about national news because it is the most divisive. It's the most divisive. One of the news stories that I saw this morning that was really interesting was about, this was from yesterday. The U.S. military has killed a senior military leader of Al-Qaeda in Syria. So we're bombing terrorists in Syria right now. His name was, Hurras al-Din, Hurras al-Din. I don't know how you say that, but that's the organization that the guy was belonged to. But Trump is dropping missiles on people's heads. UT guys at NFL Combined News. Yeah, Brandon, I'm looking right now at what protests were happening this weekend. Let's see. There's going to be some new protests happening this coming week. I can tell you that. There is one page that hang on. There's one page that, hang on, protests. Let's see. Oh man, they removed me from the group. I guess they figured out who I was. Well, that sucks. I guess it's all right. It happens. Man, that was the group I figured out where all of these protests were happening too. I guess they finally figured out who I was. Well, that was bound to happen, right? That was bound to happen sooner or later. Yeah, they removed me. Well, oh well, it happens. That sucks. Anyway, what are you guys up to today? Anybody doing anything interesting? Anybody doing anything a lot more fun than what I'm doing? Brandon, what are you up to? Jeffrey, Killer, I know what Killer Carla's up to. I will tell you that there's going to be more ICE activity happening around the Austin area in the coming few weeks. They are just ramping up. ICE is about to start putting knots on people's heads pretty quickly. Protests, Austin, Reddit. ICE is going to be putting some pot knots on people's heads pretty quick. And the protests are really going to kick up when that starts happening. March 4th, protest at Capitol. So there is a protest on March 4th at the Capitol. When is March 4th? Today is the 2nd, 3rd, 4th. So it's Tuesday. I will be there. Let's see, February 28th there was 222. Just keep going after Colony Ridge over here. Yeah, good. Let them. That Colony Ridge is a crazy place, man. Yeah, so it's a 50-50, one of the 50 states, 50 whatever protests happening at the Capitol on the 4th at noon. I will be there. We're going to do it live. Show you guys what's happening out there. Man, it's just now, protest season's just now starting too. That's what's crazy about it. Protest season is just starting, and it's starting to warm up outside, and we all know that between March and July are the especially around April is usually when the biggest protests start happening. It's not too hot, but it's not cold. Yeah, I was looking at that just now, Jeffrey, about the storms, but it's not too hot just yet. The Palestinian protests that I covered last year was in April. Those protests were wild last year. I mean, I got pepper sprayed on accident. It was kind of like a collateral damage pepper spray. The cops were throwing flashbangs, and I mean, it was a wild time at the university. And it's probably going to happen again this year, I would imagine. These kids like to protest. They like to get out and feel like they're being a part of something. And I mean, it just is what it is. Let's see, 51. 50 states, 50 protests. Let's see, 50 states. What is that? 50 states. 50 states protests. I hope we're not gonna have any storms. 51. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. 51. Austin, Texas. Man, wonder where everybody's at this morning. There's nobody here this morning. Okay, there it is. Join the protest. That's going to be March 4th, Texas State Capitol. Uphold the Constitution and stop executive overreach. Resist peacefully. Some show up. Yeah, I've noticed that too, where you never really know. Some of these protests are big. Some of them are not big. I mean, you just never know. And the other thing that I find really interesting about these protests, especially here recently, is it's like it's a hodgepodge. People are protesting like 100 different things. You're looking at the protest signs. You got some people protesting Trump, some people protesting Musk, some people protesting for transgender rights, some people protesting for abortion. It's like everybody that's there is kind of protesting for something else. And they don't have it's not as organized as it was last year. They don't have a unified message, but everybody is protesting something different. I think this is Tuesday, March 4th. 12 p.m. at the Capitol. Be aware if in downtown. Okay. Okay. Doubt they're always organized either. Some show up. But yeah, and I noticed this. A lot of these people, especially last year with the Palestinian thing at the University of Texas, a lot of those kids showed up. They didn't really know what they were there protesting for. They were just kind of there. You could ask them, what are you protesting? What are you fighting for? And they can't really tell you. what they're protesting for or fighting for. It's like they were just there to be there. You know what I mean? It's like they were there just to be a part of something. And I get it. I mean, you know, when you're a young person and, you know, that's kind of the way it is. But, you know, that you get a lot of people there. Let's say 90%, well, let's say 98% of the people that are at these protests are there just to protest. But the problem is you have agitators that come in. You know, you have 20, 30 agitators that come in from outside, and they start trouble. They start fighting with police, and it just escalates. And the next thing you know, it's like the whole thing is just a ruckus. And that's what happened with the Palestinian stuff. They had some outsiders that were not a part of the university, and they started fighting with cops. Then the cops escalated back and forth, back and forth. Next thing you know, it's a big mess, and people are going to jail. It happens. It happens. It does happen. But it's gonna be an interesting spring when it comes to what's happening with the protest around Austin. I just hope we don't have any more protests like the George Floyd protest, where things got very violent and people lost their lives over it. I hope that doesn't happen again this year. But it's very possible Trump's back in office, and you never know what's going to happen. But did you guys see that overnight, Firefly Aerospace out of Cedar Park landed on the moon a few hours ago? They had a lander called Blue Ghost that landed on the moon. I think that is very awesome. They are not too far from where we are at right now. Their control center is not but about 5 miles from where we're sitting right now. And they landed on the moon. It was really awesome to see that. And they were successful. And it's a local company. And I love Firefly Aerospace. I think it's great what they're doing. I guess that's one of the first steps to getting back to the moon for all of us. For humans to land on the moon again in the future. Possibly. Where the heck is everybody at this morning? I bet YouTube didn't send out too many notifications. What do you want to bet? I bet you money they didn't send out too many notices. That's okay. We'll wait for people to get here. KXAN, hang on. I'm looking through my news stories I pulled for today. Austin company lands on moon. Oh, that's one of the things I wanted to ask you guys about. The Texas lottery. I think most of us are here in Texas. What do you guys think about lottery tickets being sold around the world from the Texas lottery? Where a courier will come in and actually buy the ticket for a person. And the reason I'm asking this is because there was a man that bought a ticket. I think he lived in New York, but he bought a ticket through a courier and won like $88 million. Do you guys have a problem with that? Do y'all have a problem with people from outside the state buying tickets? I have a problem with it. I'll tell you that right now, because that money's not going to stay in the state. I have a big problem with it. Apparently, the lottery is going to change their rules where that's not going to be able to happen anymore. There will be no more courier bought tickets. So I don't know. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick is all over this one, and he is not happy. He is not happy at all. What do I hear? I hear something. What am I hearing? Yeah, Jeffrey, I don't play it much either. I can't remember the last time I bought an actual lottery ticket, to be honest. I need to get air moving in here. I can't remember the last time I bought an actual lottery ticket, but I still think it's kind of shitty that, you know, Texans are buying these tickets, and then you got couriers buying, you know, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of tickets, and it gives Texans a less of a chance to win. So I don't know. I've got a big problem with it. And apparently lawmakers in Texas have a big problem with it as well. Richie B, good morning, my friend. How are you doing, sir? Good morning. We're just shooting the bull about nothing right now, talking about some of the news that's happening around town. talking about some of the federal stuff. These judges that are stopping Trump from, the newest is judge stopped Trump from firing that special counsel. I don't understand how these judges are able to get away with this stuff. I mean, I thought in the executive branch of government, and correct me if I'm wrong, but in the executive branch, isn't the president in charge of the executive branch? Can he not hire and fire at will in the executive branch? I don't understand how these judges are able to exert so much control over the president and what he does with his employees. A lot of people say that once this makes it to the Supreme Court, that all of these judges are going to get shot down. Well, they're making these rulings, and apparently from what and like I said, I don't know anything about how this stuff works. I'm just listening to people. But apparently a lot of people are saying once these cases are brought in front of the Supreme Court, that these judges are going to get shot down. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe these other people are wrong too. But I wished I knew more about how this stuff worked, to be honest. It's like the stuff with Zelensky. That stuff will probably be making it in front of a court at some point too. Boy, he shot Zelensky down in the White House, didn't he? Good Lord. Who all saw that? Did you guys see Trump basically bash Zelensky in the White House? Man, that was wonderful to see. So basically what you're saying, Jeffrey, they're just kind of like a speed bump, right? I guess I can see that's kind of what they're doing, acting kind of as a speed bump. But boy, I'll tell you what, I was talking to Killer Carla about this morning, about Trump basically slapping Zelensky down on TV. And man, you want to talk about, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. It's like, you want to come over here and start demanding troops and more money. And then I saw this morning, where he was on a podcast, and he was saying, since America is not helping, Europe is going to have to give us $250 billion. The guy is just, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's almost like he doesn't want the war over there to end. And I can't imagine why he would not want that war to end. I've heard that millions have died in that war, and that's, I don't know, man, that's pretty crazy. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people to die for really no reason. And I'm not taking up for Russia. Russia invaded them. I'm not taking up for either country. I just want the war to stop. The war needs to stop. You're right, Jeffrey. Wonder how much that little man has made off of this war. Wonder how much money went into his pockets. I think people would be shocked if they found out how much money went into his pocket. I know there's a lot of money that was sent over there that they don't have any idea where it's at, but I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think about Gene Hackman? The death of Gene Hackman, his wife, and his dog. Isn't that crazy? I've been reading the stories coming out about that. And Gene Hackman that is such a weird death. I heard that I've been reading the stories, and they still don't know how the guy died. They don't know how his wife died. The dog's dead. And I love Gene Hackman. His movies are great. I started watching Gene Hackman in Mississippi Burning. That was the first movie that I saw with him, and he was such a good actor. Telling the current admin rhinos they won't be getting their initial investment or more back is dangerous proposition. Yes, Brandon. It's crazy how much money has went into this war, especially from the United States. All of us are over here, we hurt day after day, and they're just shipping off billions and billions and billions of dollars. I mean, I remember, I don't know if you guys remember, I remember when that war started. I remember that night I was on Twitter and seeing the surveillance videos and such of Russians crossing through checkpoints, and it's like, man, the war is actually starting. If you'll remember the buildup before the war actually started, there was all these videos of the Russian tanks. I mean, I cannot believe it's been going on this long. He is the installed puppet of a proxy state who forgot his butt. Yeah. And, you know, that was it's funny you bring that up, because on one of the shows that he was on after the meeting with Trump, they said, somebody asked him about, I forget what the question was, but basically he replied with, I think they asked him when he would be leaving office, and he said, well, that's up to the Ukrainian people. And it's like, how is that up to the Ukrainian people when you have stopped all elections from happening? So, I don't know. The guy is basically a little dictator over there right now. Yeah, if he didn't start it, he's definitely keeping it going with his mouth. I can tell you that. He is definitely keeping it going with his mouth. So, I don't know, man. I'm just kind of sick of it. I'm sick of the killing. I'm sick of the war. I just want it to stop. I don't care how it stops. I just want it to stop. Especially before we end up in some kind of, conflict that's going to start World War III. And I think we all know that World War III could happen at any time. He doesn't speak English well enough to negotiate terms. Yeah. But boy, I'll tell you what, that video, that press conference at the White House, man, I think that opened up a lot of people's eyes to who this guy really is and what his true motives really are. And, basically Trump sent him packing back to Ukraine. It's just, that was one of the best things that could have happened. We're just going to be Russia, Russia, Russia. Yeah. Trump's the Russia puppet. It's already started. I don't know. And then, there's so much happening right now in the news, especially nationwide. There's so much happening in the news, with the Epstein files and the JFK files. And you got people in the FBI destroying evidence. And you got Pam Bondi that's being lied to by the FBI. There is so much happening in the news right now. It is hard to keep up with what's going on. At Trump's first month in office, I guess going on 2 months now, there's just been so much happening in the news. Like, it's hard to keep up. Has gone to Washington. Exactly, Brandon. He went there full well expecting to leave with a couple of more $1 billion in his pocket. And basically Trump's like, nah, it's time for you to go home, little man. You come back when you're ready to actually stop the war. I thought that was brilliant. When he's like, you can come back when you're ready to actually end the war. The guy is something else, man. Checkmate. He's not used to a leader being in office like Trump. I think he underestimated Trump. And, if you think about it, go back to when Trump was in office, when he was impeached because of Ukraine. Happy Texas Independence Day, Ben Brady. Yeah, I like that shot too, that thumbnail shot. Yes, it is Texas Independence Day, my friends. Texas Independence Day. I read the letter from the Alamo. I think it was Travis or somebody wrote the letter basically asking for people to come to the Alamo to help fight. Such a great letter. Matt McCowiak posted that this morning on X, and that was one of the very first posts that I saw this morning. Ben Brady, my friend. Ben, how are you feeling this morning? I hope you're doing well, my friend. Texas Independence Day. Well, I can see my friend that wanted to threaten me in here yesterday hasn't made it back this morning. I was hoping he would make it back so I could block him, but that's not gonna, apparently that's not gonna happen. Truck is still sick, man. Well, we're in the same boat. The Dash Mobile's not feeling too well either. But it gets me around. It gets me around. When I'm actually out on the street, I change vehicles. That way nobody really knows what I'm driving anymore. And especially after yesterday with that guy came in yesterday morning and said that I was in a white car. Obviously it's working. So screw those guys. I hope old Victor pops up in here. That way I can go ahead and get him blocked. Want to get the guy blocked, get him on. Yeah. Let's see, we're already $1,300 into it and it's still not done. It's expensive to fix these cars, especially the older ones. The Dash Mobile is about 10 years old now, and finding parts for it can be a struggle. I can tell you that. Finding parts for this car can be a struggle. Well, Ben, I hope it works out for you. Is it a Ford or a Chevy, Ben? Is it a Ford or a Chevy? My brother is a parts manager for Ford. If you need parts, I could very well reach out to him and see if he can get you a good price on some parts. I don't know if he can, but it's worth asking. Yeah. Man, so much happening. I'm looking at the news right now to see what's going on around the country. And there is so much happening right now that it's hard to keep up. Brenda, my ABS pump went out. Needs 2 tires. They are made in 07 ABS pump. That's not good. That's not good. What the heck is up with the Epstein files, y'all? I mean, is it not crazy that the Attorney General cannot get her hands on the Epstein files? I don't think they're ever going to release the Epstein files. I think that it's just a bunch of hoopla right now. I don't think they will ever release the whole file on Epstein. A dog and pony show is exactly what it is. These people are just, oh, well, I gave them till Friday morning at 8 a.m. to get them. Well, now, okay, they didn't send it, so now here's the headline: Bondi pressures FBI for full Epstein documents. Now she's pressuring them. I don't understand what's happening. There's too many people with a vested interest in keeping those files under wraps. I miss the days when we could work on our own vehicles. Yep, you can't do that anymore. You got to have a freaking computer and plug into the OBD2 port. You got to have a computer to work on your vehicle now. Made them all forget. Yeah, Brandon, you're right. You're right. We have such a psychotic news cycle. Something happens today, then something like Zelensky happens tomorrow, and it's yesterday's news. But I don't think there's a lot of people, especially over on X, that's not going to let this issue go by. The Epstein files was a campaign promise of Trump's, and they're not going to let him. They're not going to let them just let it go by the wayside. It's been trending on X for days now. Brandon, I need your computer. I need a computer to plug into the Dash Mobile and figure out what's wrong with it right now. You have to go to 79 and back to work on it yourself. Yep. Regular carburetors. Do you guys ever watch, there's a channel here on YouTube called Vice Grip Garage. You guys ever watch that? Where the guy basically goes around doing revivals on these old piece of shit cars that's setting off in the woods. I love that show. I love watching him work on those old cars. They're cheap online. I'll have to look then, Brandon. I'll have to look because I definitely need a computer. Vice Grip Garage it's one of those channels that, you know, he's got 2-hour-long videos, but I will watch every minute of it when I have the chance. And usually I will pop one on when I'm getting ready to go to bed. But watching that guy work on those old cars, man, I don't know, it's cathartic in a way, watching him work on those old cars. And then try to drive them, you know, 800 miles across the country. It's such a good show. I'm glad that guy, he's been at it a long time. I'm glad he's finally seeing the success that he deserves. Yep, Brandon, when I started working on this car, doing the brakes myself, doing, you know, doing the tires, you know, I had to put in some, the coil packs, I had spark plugs, the intake gasket. Again, I did the brakes again not long ago. Since I started doing this stuff myself, I've saved a ton of money. I've saved a ton of money. Ben, yes, I watched half of it yesterday. I'm going to watch the other half today. C-System for like 300 or 400, saved about 30,000. Well, that's one thing that works on the Dash Mobile is the AC. So I'm surprised it still works. I've had so much trouble with this car. Right now I've got issues with the fuel injection system. I think that I have a fuel rail that's bad, or maybe another, what do you call those, that puts the gas into an injector. Yeah. Yeah, I love Rogan. I watched, like I said, about half of it yesterday after I finished the stream yesterday morning. I watched about half of it, or listened to about half of it. Elon Musk is such an interesting guy, I'll tell you that. Very interesting guy. Let's see, what is trending? Let's see what's trending. Only made it through half myself. Yeah, it's a good listen. If you guys kind of want to know, if you want to know what's going on with Doge and the federal government, you should listen to the Rogan Musk interview. They talk, the first part of that whole interview is basically about Doge and what they're doing. So it's actually very interesting. Yep, it's a long one. They get in there and just start talking, and next thing you know, it's like 3 hours have gone by. Made the mistake of getting in an argument with President Trump in the Oval Office. Zelensky calls VP JD dance, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, 3 hours is a bit long. Well, anyway, guys, I didn't need a whole lot this morning. I just wanted to come on and feed the algorithm for a little bit, have a chat with you guys. I like to keep a stream going once, you know, every day, no matter what I'm doing. It helps feed the YouTube algorithm and helps keep our channel relevant. I will be out on the street a little bit later. I'm not going to be streaming. Well, unless something comes up that you guys may want to see, then I will stream it. But other than that, I am going to go eat some breakfast with my kids. And I've got some videos coming out on X today. I hope if you guys are over on X, take a look at them. I can't put them on YouTube because they will demonetize me. Yes, I'm going to be South by Southwest. You got it, Brandon. I will be streaming from South by. Yes, sir. There's actually, I was about to say the company name, but there's a company that it's a news outlet here in Austin that I'm going to be editing. I'm going to be an editor for here pretty soon, and I'm going to be doing some stuff with them on South by Southwest. But yes, I will stream live from South by. It's going to be a lot of fun. I know a lot of people say that South by Southwest is just not as good as it used to be anymore, but I think it's interesting, you know, to show people what's happening down there. It's a lot of fun. So, and there's usually a lot of public safety shenanigans happening around South by Southwest too. A lot of dope is found at South by Southwest. A lot of dope. Yes. Anyway, guys, love y'all. Jeffrey, Ben, Brandon, Richie B, Killer Carla. Love you, Killer Carla. Love you guys very much. Thanks, everybody, for jumping on here with me this morning. And I will talk to you guys a little later.